Talking about agreeing to disagree within your relationship. We've got George Kimani, who is a counselor, as well as Mary Joseph, who is a life coach and an artist. Also, by the way, working overtime, you know, in the pastoral team, also just walking people through issues to do with marriage, relationships, you name it. As the same for George, this is quite his passion. And so you're in good hands. We'll say we're in safe hands this morning. If you would like to send in a question or you'd like to even contribute to our ongoing discussion right here on K24, please let us know. We want to ask you this question. It remains the same. And so, Abu, please put that up. We're asking, have you ever faced an issue in your relationship that you and your partner failed to agree on? Tafadhali, talk to us. I hope the show is going well with you. By the way, I am Shiko Kaitani sitting in for Paul Ngala Mbuvi. You're wondering, where is Mbuvi today? Well, Wajiko is here with you, okay? So listen to this. Someone says constant disagreement is a sign of a relationship on its knees, meaning any slight indifferences agitates conflicts. And if you can't agree, then no, people moved on with another life elsewhere. Okay, thank you for that. Do we have something else that we can look at? All right, Leah here. Yes, we have disagreed to agree on, or we have agreed to disagree rather, on first years in marriage. It was hectic. Glad to look on what worked for us, like a win-win situation. All right, Leah, that's some good news. They finally found a middle ground. Okay. Someone says, my case, I tried mpaka, I gave up, we parted ways. But my question is, how now do you deal with a narcissistic person? Okay, who'd like to tackle that? George, you want to go first on that? How do you deal with a narcissistic person? They say it just didn't work out. They had to split up.
Okay, yeah, I can deal with that. A narcissistic person is a person who is overly obsessed with love for self. They see everything working for them. They don't consider the other partner.
Right.
And unfortunately, these are people who have the guts to be abusive to even greater lengths that you cannot imagine. And unfortunately, when they are through with it, they are so remorseful that you cannot even connect the two pictures.
Right,
someone
two different
abused
people.
you seriously, but immediately after that, they come and pamper you with a lot of love, with a lot of seeking for forgiveness, and it creates confusion. So my argument would be, if you realize that your partner is a narcissist, you need to take action. If the exercise of narcissism is coming to a point that it threatens your health, either physical or whatever other aspect, then you need to seek help from a counselor or from other third parties.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you for that. Another text message, Tafadhali. Let's see what Kenyans are saying as we move along. Do we have something else that we can sample? Okay, so they're still putting together, obviously, those text messages. But like we said, when we get back from the break, I really want to understand. And feel free, both Mary and obviously George, you know, to just weigh in on this, because I had asked. We always say that men are from Mars and women are from Venus, meaning that we have different ways of decoding things. George, is this going to be for real? Like, there will never be a solution as long as mankind lives. That hatutawai patana, because I don't understand why you have to talk to me in a certain way. On the flip side, you don't understand why I have to behave in a certain way. So that friction, it seems like it's inevitable. It will always be there between man and women.
Yes, Madam Shiko, we can agree on that. But maybe before I comment on that, I don't know that you will allow me to give my views a bit on premarital counseling. And I would want to say this, that premarital counseling is very, very important.
Okay.
If you are planning to get married, it is good you get counseled. You get talked to by people who have been there. Because what you are doing is not new, people have been there. But unfortunately, there are two things that I find coming in as a problem. One, there is incomplete or partial presentation of the marriage life. The people that you meet and they are talking to you, they only give you the good side. They don't tell you the bad side.
Right.
And when you get to the marriage and the bad side manifests, because it must manifest. No one should tell you that hamutawai kosana. It is there, mutakosana. So when it finally manifests, you are now there wondering, did I get it wrong? How wrong with this? How do I handle this? And so on. So in complete presentation. The other thing is, the people who are being cancelled, they also have a blockage, or they have a way of blocking that other side. When you try to tell them mtakuwa mnakosana, they cannot imagine any of this because they are right at the center of love. They imagine that life will always be there. So when you tell them there are days that you not talk to each other, there are days that you will quarrel, they cannot imagine. So it's very, very important that we have good presentation and also people to accept what they are being told. Now, when it comes to issues of life, it brings something we call perception. And perception is how you see things. And how you see things is a component of three things. One, yourself, the character of yourself. Number two, the character of the person presenting the issue to you. And number three, the situation. Now, the character of yourself and the character of the other person may be constant, but the character of the situation changes. So when we get to marriage, there are variables that will change. And when they change, people are unable to cope with them. And that's why you find people who went through premarital counseling having major issues in marriage. So what we call for in counseling is that number one, there should be an understanding. And number two, there should be willingness to change and willingness to handle the situations as they arise.
Right.
Coming to your question of whether we shall ever agree, I want to say yes and no. We should, by yes, I'm saying we should always agree on the essential issues.
Okay.
What brought us together in this relationship? That one should be agreed upon and should remain. But the non-essentials that come about, those ones we can allow to agree or disagree.
Okay.
Yes, and we must also appreciate that man, and is God-given. It's not men who bestow that unto ourselves. It is God who said that we must be leaders. And therefore, even the ladies must accept that there comes a time when the opinion of the husband must take the way. Because if we disagree and we have to move, then that is when now the leader stands up and says, this is the way. But that does not mean the man must always be taking positions. He should also, at one point or the other, reasonable times, be accommodating the view of the man, of the woman.
You want to add on to that? And then I can say, okay, fine. You can give your one line on that one.
Exactly. Adding on to that about even the premarital counseling, there's this about, of course, talking everything about even sex. Don't just call a spade. Everything. And also about communication. You see the question about whether women and men will ever agree. Everything revolves around communication. Because even in marriage, we have and we are hearing a lot of divorces and divorcees. And at the same time, there are marriages that people are enjoying. And I'll stand and say, for marriage works. You need see communication. The reason as to why, for a man, he believes my language of love is giving you gifts and doing this and this and this. That is my language of love. For a woman, the language of love is, I want to hear sweet words. I want you to tell me, affection, I love you, and affection. You're beautiful, and affection, and all that. Maybe it's not even what you're saying. You'll find maybe people they're saying they're in love, but they are not coming. They are not. There is no single day watakuwa on the same on the same table. Like they will never because your language and my language is very different. Can we talk? That comes communication, and that is why the disagreeing part of a woman and a man, we are treated differently. No wonder I'm in a dress and he cannot wear a dress. He's in a trouser. Even if ladies we do trousers, but it's because maybe things have changed. Dynamically, things have changed. But communication revolves around whether a woman or a man can come to a point of agreeing. We stop living, somebody is in Jupiter, the other one is in Earth or Mars. You know, it's all about communication.
It's all about communication.
Yes, exactly. If I wrong you this morning, why can't you tell me? You have wronged me. This thing, Apana, you cannot do this. Why should you keep quiet? And then you keep quiet for 3 days. You're not talking. I'm
and
like,
it's just it's festering. Like it's just
you can see. Let me tell you, Shiko. If you offend your spouse, you will know that they are offended, even if they will not tell you. There is this version of there is this person who would want to be told exact papo hapo. You've offended me. There is another person who feel like let me not talk, because if I talk, nitanena maneno ambayo because I'm angry. The other person is the person who will be like, okay, let's wait, let's have time, we sit down and discuss. Everything revolves around communication. If people can be able to understand each other through communication, let me tell you, this portion of people living this side and the other one is in this era, I think it can reduce or
It can
even
reduce.
come to an end.
Wow. Okay, let's see
Yes.
what Kenyans are saying very quickly. We have about 12 minutes to go.
Yeah.
Mary and George, hi. So I've been married for a year, and lately we have seemed to be arguing over everything. We sometimes even go for days without talking. Just a word here and there. There is completely no excitement anymore, and I'm worried. It's just a year. Is it what I'll go through till death do us part? We love each other though, that I'm sure. Your one-liner, Mary, go for it.
All right. Thank you for the question. They argue every time. They have been married for an year, and lately they have been arguing a lot. The first question, why are they arguing? That is the first question I would ask. And because most of the time, and as my friend here, George has said, relationship and marriage are very different. Relationship, you are living differently. In marriage now, it is on a daily, zile vitu you are doing alone. Now, muko pamoja. Even if you're in a different business and a different job opportunity than the other person. But the fact remains, you are coming back to the same house. You're dealing with things almost like 90% together. I mean, the only difference is maybe you're working differently or doing some other things differently. And now, coming to arguing every time, there must be, what is the issue with the argument? I am 100% sure, even if she has not written there, I think she's a she. Communication is an issue here.
It's an issue.
It's a very big issue here.
Okay.
Because if they were able to communicate, mimi hiki sitaki, this one, no, this one, if you go this way, Mimi, I'm not comfortable. This one, whatever you are doing is not comfortable for me. Whatever you are doing, and they're able to talk. Let me tell you, communication is the whole issue. You find even in marriage, and let me tell you, if communication is not okay, you find you start losing interest.
Okay.
Because hata kama haujui maisha ya your husband or even your wife, you're not even able to tell who this person really is. Issue is communication. You start losing interest. No wonder you find people start losing interest with each other. Slowly by slowly.
And by the way, George, I want you to tackle that when we get back from just sampling a couple of more text messages, because that's very important. We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah.
People losing interest.
Exactly.
So, good morning. I have received a call from my friend this morning. He has told me that he got into a misunderstanding with Babe 5 days ago. Going back to her, she told him that she had moved on with a new guy. Now my friend is confused because he still loves the lady. I don't know what to advise him. Kindly give me your take. I want to help him, but I don't know how. Thank you. I am team #agree to disagree. Okay, George, what's your take on that, and what would you actually tell this gentleman who wants to advise his friend who has a woman who's just moved on, but he still wants to be with the woman who has departed, if you will?
Okay. Let me start with the earlier text. And advise the lady this way. It is important they seek help from a third party, like even a counselor. Because counseling, one of the things that we do is to unearth the issues and to make someone to understand themselves.
Exactly.
And when you understand yourself, you are able to understand the other person, and you'll be able to agree. Remember, the core thing is love. You have agreed that you are in love with each other, and that's what will make your marriage to stand. Now, the other person who is saying the person has already moved, it may be a bit difficult to remain if someone has already moved on.
Exactly.
Yeah, if someone has already decided and they have moved on, then you need to take time and think the way forward.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
and that
also-
would require that they also come to, they seek some help from counseling, so that we also try to discuss what made this person to move on, because initially they were together. Were there issues that this person felt they were unresolved, and they created a distance in terms of emotions, even now in terms of physical?
And now there
So
is-
we need to
yeah.
discuss and discover those
There is
things.
this version, George, of seeking a third party. That's what I was to advise her. But now there is this issue, George and Shiko, of maybe it's a husband, he's not ready to go to sit down, be talked to by a third party.
You have to
because these issues are happening.
You have to frog match these men
Imagine,
what-
why in fact, it's happening to women. Women are coming to our offices.
by themselves.
Yeah, they are coming to us as a third party, but the husbands are not ready. Or even
How-
they
how-
are so hilarious.
let me
They are
add to
not
that.
ready to be talked to.
Let me
Why
add
do
to
men
that.
have to be frog matched?
Let me add to that. Let me add to
Yeah.
that. Let me add to that. Two cannot work together unless they agree.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And it's a fact that men will really be will be willing to go to
be
talked to.
subjected.
But there is something here. When you're doing marriage and counseling, the order is, I first of all see each person independently. I see the wife, I see the husband separately. We discuss their own issues, and I make the person to understand themselves.
Right.
Then if there will be need and a possibility, then you can see them together.
Yeah.
Now, any issue to, or rather, the best way to resolve any conflict is moving the perspective from the others to yourself. Don't come, many people come to us blaming others.
Yes.
But
Blame
as a
Diana.
counselors, we
Blame
must
him,
get a way of bringing them to them to see what have I contributed to this.
Because
Now, if
everybody
I
has,
successfully
Definitely.
make the lady to see what is her contribution to this conflict,
Exactly.
and she goes and changes, the husband will also notice that there has been a change. And there's a normal, reasonable human being. The husband now will get interested. What brought this? This is a person we always used to agree, to disagree. She would hurl insults, but now there has been a change. That person will be interested. And by and by, the husband would want to come. So it is not all lost. Let the wife come. We work on her in terms of making her to understand. And eventually the husband will come.
Okay, guys, I'm sorry because in fact, first of all, this is I just because we cannot finish this show without you guys commenting on
Definitely.
this. What we are seeing today is a lot of people who have mpango wa kando. So infidelity is a big issue. If you ask someone why are you cheating on your better half, do you know what the response is? Uyu anasumbua. Oh, so and so doesn't get me. So you know what? Let me just take some time and find someone who at least gives me that joy and the peace that I need. Because my wife, kazi yake ni makelele kwa nyumba. My husband doesn't get me. So yeah, I'll start a relationship with the guy at the dispenser. You know, all office relationships start at the dispenser. Did you guys know that? So, George, why are men looking for solace in other women thinking that the grass is greener there? Why can't you water your grass? Wacha kuruka kwa jirani.
I want to disagree with what you have said, that men, because it also includes women. Because when a man moves out, he goes to another woman. So it is across the board.
Cheating.
So we have heard this notion that it is men who go out, but even ladies go out. Now, the point should be, why does this particular spouse go out? And there are two types of factors. There are those that are in-house. We call them the pull and the push factors. So we must look at what has my wife done to make me go out, and on the other side, what have I done to go out? And I would, because of the interest of time, I would want to say it is wrong to go out.
And
It
that's
is
not a
wrong.
solution.
It is
Yeah,
not
it's
a
not.
solution.
With time.
What people need to do is to sit down and look at where did the rain start beating us? Because it's a person who I was in love when we got married, and try to resolve those issues. Because when you go out there, it actually compounds the problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it actually compounds. It's not a solution.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to, let's look at a text message, and then you can actually respond to our viewers, because I'm told we do have more text messages. Mary, let's take a look at this one. Hi guys, I'm married for 6 years now, got 2 kids now. I've been in and out of this marriage a lot because of the same issues daily. I must do what he says, what he thinks is good, as in I don't have a say in anything. And when he asked my opinion, nashtuka and couldn't say anything. I'm used to his opinions. This guy hawezi kubali counseling. How can he get help? We always fight because of very tiny things. He's rude to me even in front of the kids. Nimetry ile ya kungoja for him to cool so that I can talk to him, but he just keeps quiet, and kesho anarudia too. He is commanding and I don't like that. I have to ask for permission every time I want to go somewhere or do anything. He claims that he's short-tempered and I should just not argue with him. He's beaten me a couple of times. Wow. In a disagreement, he'll never be sorry even if he's on the wrong. He says I'm the cause of him doing the wrong. I feel I don't love him anymore. I feel like I'm in prison. This is serious, Mary. And thank you so much, by the way, for sharing your story with us and for just opening up. You see, it's all fun and games until now someone is feeling like they're in a prison.
Exactly.
Mary, what would you tell our viewers?
Most likely, that might be a narcissist we are talking about. Most likely is a narcissist. And as George said, they should seek help. I wish that man is able to accept to be talked to. If not, the lady should seek help. That is something I would say, because it might be traumatizing. It might be, you might find somebody, even people there into depression because of such things. If he's beating you up, I would stand and say today comfortably, let me tell you the truth. You don't have a reason if you are a man out there, I don't think you have a reason why you should raise your hand and beat a woman. Can't you talk as mature people? And if you feel like hasira zako basi you are so short-tempered, just get out. When coming in the evening, itakuwa imecool. You'll have cooled down, you can talk. And I'll say, ladies out there, Kenyans, if you're hearing this, if somebody is, maybe you feel like your life is in danger, I would advise, just get out of it. And I'm not advocating for divorce, but if maybe you're being tortured, because itatoka kwa kupigwa alafu maybe mtu akuchukulie kisu. Kama I mean, run for your life. That is what I would say. But if it is possible for you to kuvumilia, it is okay. But I wish it was possible for them to sit down and talk.